Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's ZDNET Show. We've been doing some pretty different things every week at this point, and I feel like that's just a perfect summary of this time of the year in tech. But today we are doing something that's quite festive, I'd like to think. It's our Best of 2025 show, where we go over all the best products that we've tested, both in terms of hardware and software. I'm Kerry Wan. I am your host, and I'm joined by our wonderful co-host, Sabrina Ortiz, Senior Editor of AI.
Hey, I'm super excited for this episode. Like Carrie said, it's really fun to just take a look back at the year and highlight all of the best tech, both software and hardware. It'll be a fun episode, and we have a lot of experts on deck to chime in.
Yeah, I think that's the best part. We're essentially going to bring in experts across all of our verticals and categories. Now, I will say that we've been testing way too many products. And so there are so many categories that we actually can't probably fit everything within this one show. So instead, what I will say is that we're going to go over a lot of the main categories, and there will be some other ones that we'll leave out, but you can absolutely check out within ZDNet's website where we posted the full article with all of our picks and winners.
Totally. And just to
Okay.
warn people, because we've been talking about smart glasses a lot, that is not one of the categories we're going into today, but it is in the article. So go check that out.
Yeah, we're gonna save you a bit of a headache there, and we're gonna talk a little bit less about the smart glasses. But that's not
You've
to
heard
say that
all about them.
eventually we absolutely will be talking more about it,
Oh, yeah,
especially if the trend keeps going on.
totally.
So why don't we start with probably the most like basic level of these best product awards, which is smartphones.
Totally.
It's the one thing that I think like everyone uses and everyone can sort of relate to. Why don't we start with our three picks? Now, we don't have necessarily like a top pick among the three, but instead we've decided to give awards to three different winners because they're all good in their own ways. Why don't we start with the iPhone 17? That's the one that I think sort of like crept into the list. But Sabrina, you tested it.
Yeah.
I think you have the most to say about it. So what do you think?
Yeah, I've tested it. It was a really impressive base phone. I think this year, with this release, we saw that Apple really narrowed the gap between the base phone and then the Pro model. The real reason to get the Pro model, which is actually my daily driver at the moment, it's if you're really big on taking photos, on filming video, and the highest of quality of camera quality means a lot to you. But other than that, the base phone was a really solid release this year. It had a lot of upgrades from the prior model that, again, made it the most similar to a Pro phone that we've seen yet from Apple. So,
Yeah, the iPhone 17, I mean, really a lot of the base model phones this year sort of caught us by surprise. I think it was the same for the Google Pixel phone, and
oh, yeah.
Samsung did it earlier this year as well. It's just this idea of these manufacturers bringing a lot of the pro features down to the lower price tier and price point. The sort of price point that I think a lot more people tend to shop at. And so just being able to see like folks who are so used to, let's say, 60 hertz displays get 120 hertz, and then folks who are used to having two cameras get three cameras on like the Pixel. I think those sort of like benefits definitely are significant to our users.
Totally.
Now, iPhone 17, that's one pick. The other pick is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, Samsung releases like, I don't know, 24 phones per year at this point. But the Z Fold 7, I feel like, is definitely the most significant of all of them. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to try not to ramble about this one. But I think we all sort of feel pretty strongly about this.
Yeah.
Jason Heiner feels pretty strongly about this as well. But essentially, this is one of the first phone to tablet foldables that
Mhm.
actually feels like what we wanted these to feel like since the beginning. So it's slim, it's lightweight. The screen looks really good both on the inside and outside. And it also has a really good camera, at least one that's above average compared to traditional foldables. And so just seeing Samsung sort of hit all those marks, including the fact that it's still very expensive. I think it all sort of speaks to where we're headed with foldables, and it looks fairly promising.
Yeah.
Now, you've played with the Z Fold as well as the Z Flip for a
Yes.
bit at Unpacked. Did you have any sort of thoughts, initial ideas when you were playing with it?
Totally. I think the most impressive thing, and if you haven't gotten your hands on it, you just have to. It's one of those things that's like a party trick. Uh, even like my boyfriend brings it around to events. That's his daily driver, and then all of my friends are like passing it around because it's so thin. It generally does when it's folded look like the thickness of a regular brick phone, like your Pixel or your iPhone, and it's really from the get-go, from the first time I laid eyes on it, I was like, "Wow, that's insanely impressive." And also compared to even some other foldables that were released this year, like the Google Pixel 10 Fold, yeah, that it set the bar so high that nothing else will compare. Like that Google Pixel version just seems so thick and clunky in comparison. You just need to see it for yourself.
Yeah, it's it's pretty clear that Samsung focused a lot on the design of the foldable this year. I would say Google focused a lot on design as well, but it's more of like the internal design because the Pixel 10 Pro Fold, like you talked about, is the first foldable with an IP68 rating. So that's
Mhm.
like it's significant if you're someone who uses your phone, like I don't know, in the shower or something, or if you occasionally drop it in water or you're getting splashes and stuff. But I do think that people who are spending this much amount of money, they definitely care a lot about the like flashiness of the device, which is why the Samsung one definitely appeals to a lot more people. So that said, let's talk a bit more about our third pick, which is the Apple Find X9 Pro. Now, Sabrina, if you are not as familiar with this one, it's actually really normal because this one never came to the US.
Awesome.
Um, this one phone, I think, especially because we bump into tech content creators and journalists all the time at
Yeah.
events, it's one of those phones where I think after I've seen people test and review it, and our contributors have reviewed it as well, it's good enough of a camera that people feel like it could replace their actual cameras, their mirrorless cameras and DSLRs. Um, and have you heard a similar sort of like sentiment towards this phone and really a lot of the Chinese phones that have
I was
come
about
out
to
with
say, I think it's like a an Oppo phone in general,
it?
thing where, like, the cameras are actually very competitive, and that's coming from someone like me who exclusively relies on iPhone, particularly for the video quality. I think undisputably, iPhones have the best, video quality for, yeah, shooting any type of video, but, the Oppo ones are pretty competitive.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of it for the Chinese phones, at least, or a lot of the international phones, is that they focus so much more on just like raw camera optics and hardware, and less so the software optimizations. They still put emphasis on that as well, and a lot of the AI stuff helps a lot of the like telephoto, far-reaching shots look clear and sort of lossless in clarity.
Totally.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely gotten to the point where a lot of folks, they just say like, "Yeah, like I carry so much tech in my backpack.
Mhm.
I'd rather just carry this phone instead of like a bigger, larger camera, and use like an iPhone for video," like you said.
Yeah, totally, and why not? What's Jason's, our editor-in-chief's favorite quote? "The best camera is the one you have in your pocket."
I thought it was just practice makes perfect, but yes, no, it's
That one too.
best camera is the one that's in your pocket, exactly. And,
Mhm.
yeah, I think this one fits, like, the perfect mode for that saying.
Awesome, well, there we go, that's our top picks.
Yeah. So, with that said, let's move on to the next category. And we're going to bring on a special guest for this one, Kyle Kaczarski, who has written about laptops, computers, and really all the computing stuff for ZDNet over the past year. I think he owns like 24 keyboards or something at this point, but we're going to bring him on to talk about all the best laptops and all the PC accessories as well that we voted in.
Welcome, Kyle.
You guys, thanks for having me.
Hello and welcome to the ZDNET Show. This is the first time that Kyle's actually on the show, so you're gonna have to forgive him if he's a little bit nervous. He looks perfectly fine though. Kyle, let's talk about the best laptops because I feel like this year there were so many that we tested across various categories. Um, why don't we start at the top? It's the Lenovo ThinkPad X9 Aura Edition. What do you have to say about that one?
Yeah, so I mean, like you said, there were tons of really great laptops this year. It's super hard to pick, narrow this down to three. But I think this one in particular just stood out across the board. I mean, everybody knows what a ThinkPad is, right? It's like the iconic workhorse, all black with the red track point. This is a laptop that, has been around for decades. Lenovo really just kind of wanted to reinvent the wheel here and try something new, try something experimental, and it really worked. This is just like one of those laptops that is gets all the little pieces right. It gets all of the small hardware bits right. It has an OLED screen, high refresh rate, haptic trackpad, really nice keyboard, really slim and sleek design, and absolute marathon battery. So it's just kind of like a joy to use, something that you want to take to work, that you want to commute with. And on top of that, it has just like a really interesting, new aesthetic. It has this engine hub. I don't know if you remember seeing it, but it's kind of like a
Yeah.
flat. The chassis is flat with everything into one bar at the back. So it's a really unique design that's just completely experimental, but works.
Yeah, I remember we saw it at CES earlier this year, and it's like Lenovo usually has like 20 laptops that they show to us during the briefing. And I think of all the laptops that we checked out, including the rollable one with the display that stretches up.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think the Aura edition was like the one practical looking laptop that we thought looked the best of all of them, and we were like super excited to check it out when it actually released. So I'm glad it lived up to those expectations, and they also released a white version, I think, for this one.
Yeah, really limited quantity. I haven't been able to track it down, but they are, yeah, the white, like a glacier white color, really cool looking.
What if you're someone who needs something that's a little bit more powerful and capable of high graphics gaming, or they want something with a bigger display? Is there an option for that, Kyle?
There certainly is. So we have to choose. We always have to have like a gaming laptop in the mix. And so this year we went with the Alienware 18, the Area 51. This is just like a beast of a laptop, right? It's a huge 18-inch display, 64 gigs of RAM, NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090 series. Basically, this is just like an ultimate gaming laptop that dares you to sort of do your worst. You know what I mean? It wants you to run everything at max graphics. It's huge. I mean, this thing is 10 pounds, so it's not like it's something you're going to be taking around, but it just
Mm.
brings all of that power to the board there.
Yeah, I mean, is this one that you think Sabrina would want to use?
I don't think Sabrina has a bag big enough to fit this one, but
Listen, you said 10 pounds, so I think it weighs as much as my dog. I think I would personally have to pass unless I want to carry my equivalent of my Yorkie everywhere. But I also don't game, so I could totally see the appeal here if you were a gamer, because it sounds like a power horse. Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which is really the perfect segue into our third pick, which is the complete opposite of everything you just said, Kyle, but still a really good option. That's the M4 MacBook Air. Now, you tested this one earlier this year. I think the M4 came out maybe closer to springtime. The M5 MacBook Pro came out a couple of weeks or about a month ago. What were your thoughts there? And I mean, why was it selected as our third pick?
Yeah, I mean, so, with the new MacBooks, it's one of those things where you kind of know what you're getting, and that's a good thing, you know. The M4 is everything that you come to expect from a MacBook, but with those incremental upgrades that people actually want. So it's thin and light. It's, as Sabrina was saying earlier with the iPhone, the Airs are moving closer to where the Pros used to be. The gap between these two, product lines is not really that significant anymore. The MacBook Air M4 came with 16 gigs of RAM as a base starting point. It has that gorgeous display. You can hook up to two external monitors with the lid open. And this is the kicker. It's very affordable. These things are not, several $1,000s anymore. The M4 right now is on sale for $749 on Amazon. That's pretty competitive. That's definitely the cheapest laptop on this list. So it's just kind of they want to be competitive. They want to live in that very competitive consumer space, you know, between, $1,000 and less. And this is just kind of like it hits all the marks for most people.
Well, thank you for joining us, Kyle. We are going to move along to the next category, but I feel like this is definitely not the last time we're going to be talking about cool laptops, especially going into CES in January. So thanks for joining.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks for having me,
Kyle.
guys. See ya.
All right. So next up, we're going to talk about Sabrina's third favorite product category, which is headphones and audio. I'll let you guys guess what's one and two. Sabrina, do you want to introduce who's joining us next?
Totally. Joining us, we have our audio expert, Jada Jones. She's not only testing headphones, earbuds, she does it all. She does all the sound bars that I can't even begin to understand how to install or how good they are. So she's got all of the best takes on all things audio. So here she comes.
Hello, thanks for having me today. I'm very excited to talk about my favorite things.
You don't sound excited. I mean, it sounds like something you
No,
talk about every day, Jada.
no, I am excited, I promise.
I was excited that a lot of your picks are actually things that I know and I feel like I'm familiar with and would use. So I'm glad that they lived up to the hype of the releases because they were highly anticipated products. But without stealing your thunder, how about you hit us up with the first pick?
So our first pick are the AirPods Pro 3. Have them here. I cleaned them. If you have AirPods, you know they're a wax magnet. So I cleaned them before I came on today because I do wear them every day. Definitely the top pick of the year, earbuds and headphones. It took the whole category. The in-ear heart rate monitoring, an upgraded ultra-wideband chip for device tracking, new acoustics, a new fit, enhanced noise cancellation. They're also totally waterproof, which is like a
Yeah.
first for AirPods.
Do you use the heart rate sensor at all? Because I remember that being one of the biggest things of this release. And I have a pair now, and I feel like I have never used them, but I'm curious as our audio guru if you've tried it out and what you think.
I do. And they were in the Powerbeats Pro 2 earbuds
Mhm.
first. That was Apple's sort of guinea pig to see how well it worked and how well it was received. And it worked a lot better in the AirPods Pro 2. And so then subsequently, the Powerbeats got the upgrade that came with the AirPods to have the algorithms and whatnot work better. But I have used the feature. You can just hold the stem and it'll start a workout. iOS 26 brought more cohesiveness with your AirPods to the fitness app on your iPhone. So you can track a workout straight from the fitness app using the free tier, which is my favorite. And yeah, it works. It works really well
Same.
if you don't want to. Yes, I love the free version. I don't pay for Fitness Plus. But if you don't want to wear your Apple Watch or any of your wrist worn heart rate trackers while you're working out, you can pop your AirPods in and they do it all.
Yeah, I will say that as a primary Android user, this is like the first pair of AirPods where I like tried it. I'm like, yeah, this is the best. Like I can't argue with that. Like the audio quality is really good. The noise canceling is like surprisingly crazy for a pair of earbuds.
Y'all kept talking
Yeah.
about that noise cancellation. I got my pair a bit later because I'm testing them for AI stuff, not the actual AirPods. And then this week I took a train from DC to New York, and I literally had to turn off the noise cancellation because it was so good that I couldn't hear the conductor. And I'm like, I'm going to end up in Boston if I don't turn this noise cancellation off immediately. So it's actually as good as y'all described it. I could vouch.
There's two other pairs of headphones on this list. Do you want to go over them, Jada?
Yes. So now we can talk about over-ear headphones. And next we have the Sony WH-1000 XM6. They're a mouthful. These are great headphones. They have sort of a redesigned look to them. You've got more angled ear cups than their predecessor. And Sony's big thing was that these are 100% the best noise canceling over-ear headphones on the market. They overtook Bose. Bose's Quiet Comfort Ultra from 2023, I want to say, were the best for a long time. And Sony's got extra noise canceling microphones, an upgraded processor, a V1 processor for, I think it's not V1, it's something else, but it's an upgraded audio processor for noise cancellation and Sabrina, AI powered noise cancellation. So adaptive audio is a big deal. That's like the next big thing. Everyone's algorithm is different. Some are better than others. Sony's is really well. The microphones are, because the ear cups are angled downwards, the microphones are angled more towards your mouth, kind of like how AirPods, the stem is towards your mouth. So that way they can pick up your voice better when you're speaking. And I believe their battery life is in the 30 to 45 hour range. And they've got a new spatial audio setting. So that way, previously, Sony kept their spatial audio locked behind specific streaming platforms, music streaming platforms. And they changed that. It could use some work, but I like the step forward in democratizing
Sure.
spatial audio. So yeah, they're definitely, if noise canceling headphones are what you're looking for and you have $450 to spend, then that's your place to go.
Is there an alternative to a product like this that you would recommend?
The Bose
Wow.
Well, I mean, if you still want to stick with Sony, the Sony Ultwear, those have kind of mixed reviews. I liked
Mhm.
them because I like really heavy bass. I know some people are very offended by that.
That's me.
So they wouldn't like you. So that's you.
Yeah, no, I said that's me. I like
Oh,
it. I like it with
okay.
less,
Then you wouldn't like those. There's literally a button on them that you can push that just like artificially pumps the bass up. And it's pretty obnoxious, but I love it. So they've got solid noise cancellation as well. They have I believe the same audio processor that was in the XM5, but also just buy the XM5s. They're cheaper. They're also great in their own way. They just don't fold. That was a new thing with these. These can fold. And that was a
Oh.
big deal for a lot of people.
That's a big deal for me because I like putting these in my backpack and everything, and I
I'm just
prefer
talking to
I
you.
prefer sort of flexing them a little bit. Cool. Well, I mean, clearly I like these headphones just as much as you, Jada. But let's say someone doesn't like Sony and they're a Bose person. Is there an option for them?
Yeah. The Bose Quiet Comfort Ultra headphones Gen 2, another mouthful. These came out, a month ago now? These are pretty recent, from the first generation that came out in October of 2023. And the big things is that these have USB-C audio, which these do not, which is also a pretty big deal.
What does that mean?
So you can listen through a wired connection through the USB-C
You
port.
can't do that with the XM6s? That's what I thought it meant, but I feel like that sounds so basic that I'm like, why would the XM6s not have that?
You can only listen through the headphone jack, but you can't listen through the charging port. So you can charge these and listen at the same time if you wanted to. Or you could just use the USB-C port for audio, which is great for people who maybe don't want to pay for another pair of gaming headphones and just for like latency purposes in general. And they've got a really cool power management feature, sort of like the AirPods Max, a little bit better, where if you leave them on, like you don't ever have to press the power button if you don't want to, because Bose's power button was also kind of an issue that it didn't really work all that well. So you don't ever have to use it anymore if you don't want to. You can take them off of your head, and then there are some gyroscopes inside that can tell when they're off of your head. They'll automatically disconnect from Bluetooth from your listening device and then enter an ultra low power sleep mode.
Thank you so much, Jada, for joining us today and doing your show and tell. I fully expect our guests later on to bring out all the robot vacuums and the advanced winners. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll chat again, of course. Like I said to Kyle, there are so many other headphones that are about to come out, and we're obviously really excited to talk about them. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show for the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last.
Yes. Thank you so much.
All right. With that, we have really 2 or 3 more categories that we got to talk about. The next one is going to be wearables, and I feel like wearables can be a bit of everything at this point. But this is particularly smartwatches and smart rings. I feel like when we talk about that, there's really only one person that we could bring on from ZDNET, and that is Kyle Kuchar. No, I'm kidding. It's Nina Raymond.
Hi.
Welcome.
That's
Welcome, Nina. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
Well, Nina, I'm going to do something a little bit different here. We have 3 picks again for best wearables. I'm going to let you decide which one we talk about first.
Sure, yeah. I guess then I'll start with the Pixel Watch 4, which I would say is the Android smartwatch to buy this year. And when I was reviewing the Pixel Watch 4, I was thinking about how Google really nailed all of these small, like special touches. It was just the upgrades simply made sense. For example, one of them was Google changed the charging port from a flat lying sensor that you had to really like finagle and like place on top, and it would be annoying. I tried it out last year, and it just took so long to nail in place, and it deterred, that constant use. They changed that so that the Google Pixel Watch just instantly connects on the side to like a side orientation instead of a flat laying down orientation. You get longer battery life, you get these Gemini integrations. Speaking of which, one of the hallmarks of the Pixel Watch 4 is the Fitbit Premium integration. So, this is in public preview right now. It is available to adult Fitbit Premium users in the US right now. Um, but um, it is one of the best AI health coach workout buddy things I've tested. And I am absolutely loving the regimen it gives me every week, how it uses my daily readiness, my sleep scores, how it integrates some of the questions I'm asking the health coach. Like, for example, a week ago, I had like really bad congestion, but before it was bad, I was like, is this just allergies or is this cold symptoms? So I ask like the Fitbit health coach that question, and it tells me an answer. And then the next day, when my readiness is poorer because I'm actually getting sick, it brings up that information into my readiness and like into my daily plan for fitness and just how I slept and everything. I think um, like as far as competition goes in the Android smartwatch space, Samsung's Galaxy Watch 8 has a running coach feature, but it's AI powered as well, but that's only one exercise that it can really give you this detailed plan about, whereas Google's Fitbit Premium gives you a plan for anything.
That
I
running
was gonna
coach feature was pretty neat,
Yeah.
though. I did like using it. I tried it and it was fun. It's like a little challenge
Mm.
seeing your
Yes.
score, and I could totally see it being like almost like a challenge. Like, okay, now I'm gonna beat it next month,
Yes.
and then I want to beat it again. So that
It's a
was
great
cool.
motivator for sure.
Yeah, are you as you're testing this, Nina, are you using any other wearables? Like are you using an Aura ring on the side as well, or using like a different smartwatch?
Yeah.
And so like does that give you like different results when they're interpreting your sleep and your general health and your diet?
So normally the sleep tracking on all of these high caliber wearables, like anything from a Samsung, Google, or a Apple, is going to be within like minutes of each other as far as sleep tracking goes. Also, these companies, their algorithms detect, like maybe Google detects like a certain stage of sleep as deep sleep, whereas Aura might detect it as REM. So it
Yeah.
it really varies. The only gold standard is like a polysomnograph, I believe that's how you say it. So being able to really like see those granular differences is difficult. So it really depends, but I do track normally if I'm testing one device, I'm usually like using another app to see what some other like reliable source is telling me.
So, I mean, let's say someone isn't in the market for an Android smartwatch. I mean, how does the Apple Watch Series 11 compares to that? Because that's our second pick
Yes.
for best wearable.
So the Series 11, I think, is the best Apple Watch you can buy this year. because, you know, it came out alongside the Ultra 3 and the SE3. The Ultra 3 is $800. The SE3 is, I believe, $250. So the Series 11 is right around $400. I think it's like $350 right now during Black Friday. And so it's like a good middle ground smartwatch that has finally a 24-hour battery life, which everybody was wanting because they want to use it for exercise as well as sleep tracking. When I was testing it, it kind of clocked in above that 24-hour mark. Sometimes it was like 26, 27 hours, just depending on use. And then the highlight of the watchOS 26 lineup and this smartwatch lineup, the software update gives the Series 11 and among other smartwatches, but this is like the newest and the one I'd recommend most. That software update gives the Series 11 possible hypertension detection, which was FDA cleared. Hypertension impacts like around 1 billion people, and Apple predicts that within the first year of people using their smartwatches with this feature on it, that I think the number is, I wrote it down just, it's going to notify over 1 million people of undiagnosed high blood pressure. So it's making meaningful change in people's lives. It's notifying them of a condition that so many people have. I think that's like a very important health tracking feature that not too many other smartwatches, specifically like a Google Watch or a Samsung Watch, has.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a pretty important feature to have because at this point it just feels like Apple is giving people reasons to need a smartwatch and not necessarily want one. The health features that they've been introducing over the past couple of years and with each model is like so significantly beneficial to people's health, especially when it comes to awareness. That yeah, it's like one of those things where at this point we recommend it, not even just for the fact that it has those like smart, smartwatch features, but the actual health tracking bit. Do you want to talk about the Aura Ring?
Yeah, I have it right here. This is the Aura Ring ceramic. This is the Aura Ring 4 ceramic. So this is basically no different than the Aura Ring 4, which came out last year. However, it's prettier and it is $500. And normally, like, that's not enough to convince me to tell somebody to buy, but I will say, like, Aura is kind of like a pioneer in the smart accessories jewelry space, and it's through like creating these like new colors. There's four new colors of the lineup. There's like a pink, there's a white, there's this like light blue, and then there's like this rich navy. It's making this technology truly an accessory first and a health tracker second. And I think we're going to see even more of that in the years to come. So it's kind of like both a statement piece and like a status signal alongside like a health tracker. And of course, you're getting your activity tracked, your stress tracked, your sleep tracked, all of these things. It can even tell you when you're getting sick. And just like inform you about a lot of different things that could be useful to your regular routine and like overall wellness.
And so, yeah, we'll
Yeah,
talk
thanks for
more.
wearing
Yeah.
6 different wearable rings at all times and 2 Apple Watch well, 2, watches and doing all the things, always just having all the tech on you to bring us the biggest scoop, so, much
It's my
appreciated.
pleasure. Well, thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, can't wait to have you on again.
Bye.
All right. And for our last guest, she's been patiently waiting in the backstage for her turn. And so I couldn't be more excited to bring her on. We're going to bring on Maria Diaz, who, for those who follow ZDNet, she reviews really everything that happens within a home. So from the smart lock that you open to get inside to the robot vacuums that clean it, to all the even the kitchen appliances and some of the smart home stuff that happens in there. So she's going to join us. We're going to talk about the robot vacuum picks. We're going to talk about some smart home stuff as well. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Welcome, Maria. I cannot stress enough how lucky we are to have you because I think you spend most of your time renovating your house for the sake of ZDNet. Like, I cannot even
Thanks.
imagine how many times a week you have to install and uninstall something.
Oh yeah, that's my life. My door is basically falling apart from how many smart locks I put on it. So yeah.
And yeah, and then also reprogramming and unprogramming the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi to every single or all of your like smart home. I don't know how you do it, but I'm very excited to hear your picks because if anybody knows their smart home, it's you. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was gonna just add and say that viewers don't know this, but there's actually 8 robot vacuums that are underneath Maria right now that are cleaning the floors. Um, but yes, that said,
Okay.
let's talk about those top robot vacuum picks, Maria.
Okay, so we can start with one of the newest robot vacuums to hit the market this year. It's a mouthful. Ecovacs Dbot X11 Omni Cyclone. It's like they're adding more words just for the sake of it to
I
each
thought the
robot
Sony
vacuum.
headphones were bad.
Right? I know. I just call it the Dbot X11. In my house, it's called Pizza. That's what we named it because my 4-year-old picked it. So, um, but this one is one of the best robot vacuums that you can buy right now. It's definitely, in my opinion, the best that came out this year. It's a flagship robot vacuum, so it's like their top tier robot vacuum, and it's an expert at like navigating around obstacles and avoiding even like things that you wouldn't think that a robot vacuum would avoid, like wadded up paper, which is something that I use to test a lot, or pet droppings. But it's really effective at knowing where it is, getting around it. It also has um like a forever power claim that it basically can clean your whole house without having to stop and recharge, because every time it goes to the dock to like self empty its dustbin, then it's charging, it's like getting fast charging while it's doing that. So they can run, like mine clean is the only one that cleans the whole downstairs, which is about 900 square feet in a
Mm.
single run, which is pretty impressive. Um, and also, it's one that is also self-emptying, like I said, um, but it doesn't have a dust bag at the dock. So you don't have to like worry about buying new dust bags every few weeks when you have to switch it out. It's like a regular traditional vacuum. It just has a plastic canister, and it's the first one to feature like all the self-washing and auto emptying and self drying robot vacuum and mop features that doesn't have the dust bag. So it's pretty impressive in that.
I feel like we're at the point now where I do need to ask how much the robot vacuum costs.
Okay, well, this robot vacuum, it launched at $1,500. That's its retail price. That's actually cheaper than our one of our other picks, Roborock
Yeah.
Saros, which is 1,600, but it's actually on sale right now for $900, and it will be on sale for like through Black Friday. So it is on sale for $900. That's a $600 discount, which is pretty good.
So, Maria, if you didn't have to actually test them for work, do you think that you would recommend to people that it's worth, like, I guess, the ROI of the investment versus all the work they could do for you?
For this one, I would. Sorry, there's a lot of robot vacuums that, I mean, the industry is saturated. They're all competing. It's the prices have skyrocketed to some are over $2,000, and it's hard to justify the investment. But this one is so future proof, and it features like all of the it com- and com- it puts together all of the best features on the market right now, plus the innovative fast charging and never having to buy a dust bag again. So this one I 100% recommend it to anybody looking for like a self washing and self cleaning robot vacuum. Yeah.
What about the Roborock that you mentioned before? Like what
That one
separates
is
that from this one?
yeah, I started using robot vacuums about 7 years ago, and it was like with a small $200 Roborock. So I am excited and like to see how much the brand has grown
Mm.
since then. And this Roborock Saros 10R, they launched like 3 flagships this year, one with a robotic arm, and then 2 Saros 10 and 10R. And the Saros 10, they're really, really top tier as well. The difference between the best one is that obviously they don't have the dust bag. I mean, they have the dust bag, so they don't have the plastic emptying dustbin. Um, and then also they still have rotating mop pads instead of a mop roller, which is the new big thing in robot mops. Um, but essentially, the Roborock Saros 10R is a really big game changer for the company that's always like trying to market new features and best robot rock, but they launch so many a year that it's hard to keep up. So if
Mm.
you're looking for a great robo rock, the Saros 10R is definitely like one of the top rated. It'll give you the market leading navigation, has even stronger suction power than my top pick. So it has like 22,000 pascals of suction, which is also market leading. So it's a really reliable robot vacuum that if you're looking for something that's high end, but also like the Roborock brand, then definitely it's a good pick.
When I saw a Roborock pick, I was automatically expecting it to be the one with the arm. So
Yeah.
I'm just curious from your standpoint, like, what makes this one better? And does the arm actually really add that much value to? Is that why it wasn't picked? Because it's just like it's cool, but it's not very practical kind of thing.
It is. That's what it is. It's cool. It's not very practical yet, but it's getting there. Like the Roborock with the arm of the Z70, it works really, really well. I've had it in my house since it launched, and it it's it learned how to pick up stuff, and I use it to even like drive it around and pick up things just for fun or to teach my kids, and it picks up like even my dog toys, which is really nice. But it's very much like a one of those products that is more for, like, the people that really wanna try the new things, the more innovative things,
Mm.
because it's just not there yet. It gets a lot of stuff wrong. It drops things sometimes. So, I mean, it's amazing and it's really cool, but it's not at the level where it would be, like, a game changer in your house because it picks up everything and you don't have to do anything.
All right, that makes sense. I'm just
So
curious.
yeah, I will say that we definitely considered like all of the Roborock models, and yeah, I think ultimately it was pretty interesting because yes, the one with the mechanical arm was like so interesting and innovative, but the one that like people should be getting for their houses
Right.
was the Saros that you tested, Maria. So um, with all that said, I think there's one more pick that we have. Is this a budget one or like a mid range
It's a
option?
mid-range option, but it
Mm,
performs almost as well as the Saurus 10R. The It's a Eufy E25. I've tested the E25 and the E28. They're both the same robot vacuum, but the E28 has like a spot cleaner that you can carry around and wash like your carpets if you spill something, which is really handy. But honestly, the E25 is like the robot vacuum that people that wanted to buy the super popular Eufy flagship last year, the S1
mm,
Pro. If you wanted to buy that one, then you can totally get the E25 for like $800 or $700, depending on the time and the cells. Um, and that one it's really good at navigating. It's not as perfect or foolproof as like your $1,500 models, but it's also not that expensive. And it also is one of the best robot mops on the market right now, if not the best, because it Eufy has really perfected like the robot mop roller technology. And it doesn't get stinky. A lot of robot mops can get stinky, which is ill. You don't want that. But it has a self-washing mop roller that like cleans itself with clean water as it rolls. So it always mops your floors with clean water, and it has an empty, like a separate dirty water tank. So it's just they've just really perfected that so
mm.
well that this technology and this new model is really still as impressive enough to say that it's the best robot mop available right now.
Well, we are a little bit pressed for time, so we will sort of wrap it up there. But thank you so much, Maria, again for all you do, and as well as for all the advice. There is a like smart home awards that we gave as well on top of this one, so I do recommend anyone who's interested to read the story to learn about those products. There's a bit more variance there, so there's like smart locks and all of that. But those ones are also handpicked by Maria and tested by Maria as well. So highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Ramirez, thank you for coming. Again, you killed it again, and we're excited to have you. See ya.
Cool.
Carrie,
And
it's
then
up to us now.
yeah, there leaves two of us. Now we're gonna get through all 7 remaining categories. No, we're not gonna do that. But we
No,
will
no.
talk about the one that maybe Sabrina has been like itching to talk about since the very beginning, and I feel bad that I kept this all the way to the end, but I feel like it was worth it.
Totally.
AI. I think this was like the one award that we maybe didn't put as much focus on in previous years, or we did talk about it briefly.
Totally.
But this year it just like makes so much sense for us to give awards for this one because there has been a lot of progress made. I mean, you can attest to that because you've been following every little of that beat
Totally.
since the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'll let you take it, Sabrina. Where do you want to
Yeah,
start?
thanks for that. I'm excited to chat about AI, of course. I'll try to keep it as brief as possible, but like you just said, I've been covering this since the launch of ChatGPT, which is now 3 years ago in November, which is crazy. And I think that this year was a lot funner to give a category because in past years we've been seeing an emphasis on models, where this year we're seeing an emphasis on using the models to create something or using the models in a different service or product to give something like take a step forward. And yeah, so I guess with that we could get started. I'll start with my favorite, or what I thought it was a no-brainer as a pick, and it was Sora 2. Sora 2 obviously has had a lot of backslash because of all of the AI slop on the internet now, because of how realistic creating AI generated video is, how realistic it looks now, and how easy it is with the Sora 2 with the Sora app that launched with Sora 2. But the reason I included this and I thought it was a no-brainer was because this year, and I think with this model in particular, we really saw the first really mainstream push into AI video
Same.
generation that was so difficult to tell from the just normal, human generated content. And not that that necessarily is a good thing, but it is a feat, right? It is a big deal. And not only the fact that they launched the model, but they launched it in a way with cameos, which is just, you're able to basically take a video of yourself or upload content of yourself, and then you could create AI generated videos using that cameo, and you could allow other people to also use that cameo to create content should you want to. Um, I think the app and that cameo feature has made it the most appealing for people to try it than ever. And I think that in itself is also a feat. So, Sora 2. That's my first
Yeah.
no-brainer pick. What do you think, Gary? You've seen all the AI stuff.
No, I mean, yeah, I've yeah, that's a good way to put it. But I've seen so many like mainstream apps try to like implement this like TikTok but with AI content only kind of thing. And
Yeah, Meta did it.
I feel like I don't see the appeal in it yet because I feel like right now the videos are still like slightly unrealistic. So whenever you watch a video and it's like it doesn't feel right, you're just like, okay, this has to be AI. And you look
Mhm.
at the comments and everyone's like, this is AI, this is AI.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. I think like Sora 2, the progress that OpenAI has made in terms of the realism as well as the audio that they sort of match with the
Mhm.
videos, it's so close to the actual thing that it is kind of scary, but at the same time, it just shows their sort of prowess in just learning as much as they can with their AI and trying to use it to generate videos.
Yeah, also imagine like a year ago today to now. A year ago today, Sora wasn't even launched. They
Yeah.
launched the first version during their 12 days of shipmas,
Yeah.
which I'm dying to know if they're doing it this year. So at this point last year, we didn't even have a video generator from there. And now from now we have this where I can't even tell real from fake a lot of times. I was just at the Spice World conference and the AI, well, the keynote speaker did an AI like slop, is it real or not kind of thing. There was so many AI generated videos, some of them using Sora, and I could just not tell if they were real or fake, which is scary, but again, a huge feat considering what's happened in a year's time. So, yeah. That was our, again, no-brainer first pick, but then our second, or I guess my second pick, again, more generally consumer focused, not we'll get to the more nerdy developer focused, but
Hmm.
was Apple Intelligence Live Translation. Apple Intelligence has had many, many, critiques because of its somewhat stalled launch, and some would say failed launch of Siri 2.0, right? We still don't have an updated voice assistant that's really leveraging AI, generative AI to the best of its ability. But it does have a pretty robust Apple Intelligence suite of features. And I think their live translation features is feature, I guess features, because it's throughout the ecosystem, is the most one of the most compelling cases I've seen of applications of live translation, not only because of the way it's really, really nicely baked into, like, the FaceTiming platform. When you're texting, I love that fact that you could text and you could see the content being translated right above your text box before you even send it. But, of course, other Google has a similar feature. It's not the most innovative necessarily, but I do like the fact that they baked it in really well. It's really easy to use. It doesn't feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like you're using AI for the sake of AI. And of
Hmm.
course, the AirPods integration, which we kind of talked about before when Jada was on, but that was a big part of the release too. And it's awesome that you could just be basically using it as like an in-ear translator. Um, so yeah, so I think they just did a really nice job with that feature, just baking it in to everything they already have. Carrie, have you gotten a chance to use it yet?
Yeah, I've used it for both like the in the operating system ones on the iPhone if you're on like a messages chat or something and it's automatically translating messages. But also the ones on the AirPods where it's like if you listen to someone speaking a different language, you'll just sort of transcribe and then translate it into your ears. And I do agree that I think of all the manufacturers who are working on technology like this, especially the ones who are putting it in like mainstream devices, Apple is doing it the best. And so whether it's using the AirPods and trying to listen to what someone's saying in a different language, or if it's just texting someone, let's say if you're texting a parent who types in a different language, just seeing all of that like generate into something that makes sense and not just like a standard like Google Translate is definitely one of those things that I think has a lot of benefit, a lot of practicality, and it's just one of those AI features that maybe if you didn't tell people it was AI, they would still like it a lot.
Totally. And I think
Yeah,
most importantly too, AI is really, really good at understanding language context, right? So it's understanding not only like
yeah,
direct translation, but the surrounding words and getting the right meaning. It's really important, especially if different, like, regional terms. Like in Spanish, I speak Spanish, but Ecuadorian Spanish is very different than Spain Spanish and all of that. So AI is really, really, really good at translating. So I'm glad that not only Apple, but like you mentioned, a lot of these manufacturers are using AI for this to power type of feature because I think it's one of those places where AI could really deliver value and do a much better experience than what you were typically used to. Like what
yeah.
Google Translate's been around forever, but oftentimes it was just not accurate because it couldn't get the context right. So, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big game changer there.
And
Last pick,
yeah, last one.
Codex. OpenAI again. Unsurprisingly, OpenAI has been in a hot streak of releases. They are not stopping. I wouldn't be surprised if we do another ship miss this year and we get another 12 days of releases. But Codex, that's their this is the year of AI agents. We've seen a bunch of them being
Mm,
released on every single capacity, whether it's checkout or coding. And this is an example of a coding AI agent. There's been so many that have launched this year. Jules, Google Jules was one of them. There's Claude Code. There's Copilot doing again that one's not necessarily new, but it's always been an assistant in GitHub. But the reason we picked Codex is ultimately at the guidance of our coding expert, David Gewirtz. We presented him with all of the options. He's gone hands on with all of them. I think his exact words were, let me see. Oh, yeah. Codex completely blew my socks off with what I could get done in 4 days. Yeah. So there's been really positive feedback from everybody that I've seen online. It's mostly people saying that they could work faster. Again, it's kind of democratizing coding, making it easier for you to just get started with just natural language. And I personally am a fan too because it's being used to power some other really neat features or really helpful features like OpenAI Aardvark, which we talked on this podcast a couple
Mm.
of episodes ago. It's like a cybersecurity researcher agent, and it could identify vulnerabilities, and then it could help you fix them and patch them. And it uses codecs to help with generate that code. So again, it's just like a kind of circular, gift that keeps on giving, circular environment where this is a powerful tool, and OpenAI is using it for other powerful tools. So definitely was worth getting some recognition. There are plenty of really good coding tools though out there, like Claude Code. It's a great example. They've had a lot of developments this year. Google Jules, and if you want to know how those are, you can also check our site because GoWords has reviewed them all.
That about rounds it up for all the
That
AI ones.
concludes it. Yeah,
Yeah. Like you said, like OpenAI, they definitely had a pretty big year. And so like even when we were evaluating which one to pick for each different tool and application for AI, it's like there's some sort of OpenAI feature or service out there that makes sense. So cool. With that all said, I think we've gone through all the ones that we wanted to go through
we
today,
did.
and that was still a lot. What I
Yeah,
will say is that, yeah, there are plenty of more product categories that we did give awards to, ones that are close to the ones that we talked about today, and ones that are a little bit different. But I think the one similarity is that they're all ones that we've personally tested
totally.
and spent a good amount of time with throughout this year. And there are ones that we think are very much deserving of ZDNet's best product of the year, but also of your attention, especially going into Black Friday when a lot of these products will be going on sale. And perhaps if you are wondering if it's worth buying, hopefully all this advice from all our experts today would be beneficial to you.
Totally.
Um,
I want to quickly highlight some of those
yep.
categories because I have the list up, and
Oh, that's
Carrie
perfect.
again did a good job rounding it up in a wonderful article that y'all should definitely try to check out. But some of the other categories we didn't touch upon include best PC accessories, best smart glasses, best mobile accessory, best tablet, best TV/projector, best smart home gadget, best security software, and then some funner breakthrough/innovation awards. So definitely worth checking out, and that's a wide breadth of even more experts that we haven't spoken to today
Yeah.
got to judge on, and also like Carrie said, some fun Christmas or holiday shopping ideas. Like I think I will definitely be checking out best mobile accessories and best smart home gadgets for a couple of people on my list. So
Yeah, one thing I will sort of add to that as well is that we added a lot of new categories this year, ones that maybe we didn't expect to put at the start of it. And that really just speaks to all the sort of like innovation and exploration that's happening within brands this year, which is really good to see.
totally.
And I fully expect that to happen again next year when there are more products coming out, ones that we anticipate, but also ones that we'll likely learn more about at CES. So, Sabrina, I'll let you close this out for us.
Oh my gosh, I get the special honors. Well, thank you y'all for hanging out with us. This is definitely a really content heavy video. We threw a lot at you. So thanks for hanging out with us. This was so much fun. We loved taking a look back at the year and putting this list together. Carrie, thanks so much for making this list happen and coordinating and chatting with everyone and making this all something we could offer our audience. And even again, I, as a person on the staff, am like, very excited to dive into this a bit deeper. We'll be back again with more both holiday content coming up, whether it comes to deals or it comes to gift ideas. And also, of course, we'll keep you posted on all of the latest news as we do every week. Carrie, thank you so much for being a great host and again, putting all this list together. Let you add a little something if you want to, but if not, I'm happy how this went. I think we had a great conversation, and I hope all of y'all also enjoyed. Subscribe if you don't want to miss any other videos in the future, whether they're live streams or whether they're more put together videos like this one. But we're excited to have you here.
Yeah, you just started spitting bars at the end there, but I ditto everything that Sabrina just said. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya. Bye, y'all.